Well, hello, everyone. My name is Ron Tijerina. Welcome to my show called Uncuffed with Ron Tijerina. Boy, I tell you, it has been far too long since I have done a live video, and I am excited about what's happening in our world, right? I'm talking about the TYRO world. You can see the banner behind me. It says success is never a one-man show. And today I want to start off by talking about TYRO. TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior. And for those of you out there who don't know where I've been and what I've been doing, we're going to talk about that. We're going to go on a journey. We're going to understand things about life, on how to be successful. I work with a lot of people across the United States and internationally, and our job is to help people become better. I get to help people really understand what it means to dream again. And I love what I get to do. And so today is a launching of a new day. I didn't do no big fanfare, watch for the show and all that, but that's coming. But I wanted to just talk about what we all witnessed today at the Academy Awards. And we're going to talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock and what all of us maybe witnessed it. Maybe you just got word of it. So leave some comments, because we're going to be talking about, what does it mean to hurt people? And today's show is Uncuffed with Ron Tijerina, but the topic is wounded people wound others. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So I am learning how to work all these things here. So if you guys leave a comment, I'll be checking out here and see what's happening, see what's coming on. But I do want to touch base about wounded people wound others, because that was something else. I had never, that was live TV, and to see somebody in a position that in life that Will Smith is in, to walk up that stage and actually strike somebody was really nerve-wracking. It was upsetting. It was sad. It was just really disappointing, in my opinion. It was really beneath Will Smith, because I know he's been through a lot. A lot of us know his story. Him and his wife have not been shy about telling us what they've been through and what they're going through, with the infidelity and the domestic violence and the situations that they've been experiencing in their lives. And this show is not a gossip show, but it's a show about principles. It's about understanding what it means to be a strong man and a strong woman, right? But when you're hurting, hurting people hurt others. That's a fact of life. And I want to just talk about that a little bit to see if we can bring some light, because you don't never want to look like that. You don't want to ever be in a place where you can find yourself being exposing instead of really covering what's going on. And first of all, before we get any started, I want to give a shout out to the team called at TYRO Support Services, TSS, for really helping me get this setup going, get this studio going. And I'm excited about what's coming. So I'm going to ask you to share this with your friends. Let's go. We are going live right now, and I'd like for you to bring your friends in. Let's talk about this. Let's find out what's going on. My name is Ron Tijerina. And we're gonna this is Uncuffed. I don't have no shackles on my mouth. So we're gonna talk, and I want to keep this thing rated PG, right? We don't want to go too far out. Hey Guy, how are you, man? Thanks for jumping on. And I don't want to infant. We're not, we just want to keep it real, right? We want to keep it real. We don't want to whitewash anything. We're not here to dilute anything, but we want to make people understand, come to a place of understanding that it is never okay. It is never okay to strike somebody, especially when you feel offended. And I want to tell you, Will Smith, he might call himself that he was defending his family and protecting his legacy, but that's not the case at all. That is not the case, because he took it personal. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to show you what this shirt I have on is. This is something that in the world of TYRO that we teach people, because to react in a way of violence and to throw a temper tantrum, that's normal. Children do that every day, right? If you got kids, your kids know how to throw temper tantrums. But here's what is learned behavior. This takes purpose. You got to be conscious of this. Now check out this shirt, right? It says DTIP. Don't mind the pectorials, because I know I don't watch them, right? But check out the shirt. The shirt said DTIP. That stands for something that is so powerful. And I promise you, if you understand how this principle D-tip really works, it will put you on a new level of success, right? Because people are going to try to hurt your feelings. People are going to upset you. You're going to get offended. And you're going to offend others. So that's just part of life. But you got to practice this principle called D-tip. Don't take it personal. I promise you, if you can activate this principle in your life, it will set you apart, man. Alberto, how are you? Thanks for jumping on. It will set you apart. It will put you in a place where, you know what, no matter what people are saying around you, to you, about you, it doesn't matter. You see, what happened to Will Smith, in my opinion, and now I'm not a doctor, let me put a caveat to all this. You know, everything that I'm telling you is my opinion. It's something that I've seen in my experiences that I've had. Am I an expert in what I do? Listen, I teach this. You know, be the thing that you teach. Be the thing that you teach, man. Somebody should write that down, because I'm telling you, that's powerful, right? So yes, Chris Rock made a joke. He made a joke, right? And maybe he didn't know that Jada Smith was experiencing some health issues. Maybe he didn't know. I'm going to believe he didn't know, because I don't know any of these guys personally, but I don't think he would purposely throw her under the bus like that and make fun of her. I don't think that's in him. Like I said, I don't know him, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? And so, because when you look at the video and you see, now I wish I could show you the video, but my technology scale on what to do and how to do that, I'm still in the school of learning, right? So go and find it on YouTube or wherever else you're gonna find it, and you can see it. But you're gonna see Will laughing at the joke, because he thought it was funny too. He knew it was a joke, but he must have turned to look at his lady, right? And he turned and he seen that she wasn't happy, right? Ooh wee. And she may have gave him the look. If you've been married like me, I've been married 35 years. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. Fellas, listen, have you ever been given the look from your lady? Has your lady ever given you that look where it just makes you like, no, right? You're in a place of, oh man, I worked so hard to avoid that look, but you know what, man, you get the look. I know some of you guys understand what I'm talking about, and I think maybe Jada gave him the look. Gave him the look like, you gonna do something? You gonna do something? And so he had to step up, right? He had to feel like he had to defend himself. It wasn't really I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't think he was really defending Jada. Jada don't need nobody to defend her. We all know she's a strong lady. She don't need nobody to protect her, right? But I think Will felt so offended that remember, wounded people wound others, that he felt attacked. That, again, back to what he's been experiencing, his manhood was being attacked. So therefore, he had to stand up and go do something about it. Because the truth is, when you're strong in who you are, listen to what I'm about to tell you. When you know who you are and rooted and grounded, it doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter how they look at you. Now, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Listen, we know sticks and stones, they hurt. And yes, names hurt. But when you come into a place of understanding your role as a man, as somebody who's been through the fire and lived to tell about it, when you come to a place and you understand these things, that no matter what somebody says and they put it in perspective, they know it was a joke. It was a joke. But Will took it personal, right? Let me show you again. He did not D-tip. He took it personal, right? The truth is, don't take it personal. He thought something was happening. He thought he was being attacked, because I'm telling you, he's broken right now. He's hurting. You've seen it, because after it happened, what did he do? Dude got on stage and started crying, right? Okay, so he's emotionally, there's something going on here. There's something deeper happening in Will. Has nothing to do with Jada. Now, we know that the relationship is what it is, but wounded as a human, wounded as a man, wounded as a father, right? He's got a lot of things that he's dealing with, and that might have been the camel or the stick that broke the camel's back when Chris Rock, because now he's in public. He's in there, boom. He had to get up and rise up, and he slapped the dude. He slapped him. He didn't punch him. He slapped him. Now, that's a whole nother conversation about that. But I want to tell you what, I appreciate Chris Rock for not retaliating, right? He didn't come unhinged. He was in shock like everybody else was, right? He was in shock that dude just hit me, right? Dude just slapped me, right? And so, but the point is, it was a joke, but Will took it personal and he reacted. He didn't respond. Now, the right thing would have been to do is to wait, right? If he had an issue with Chris, would be to wait and to wait till there was an opportune time to take him aside and say, look, man, Man, I know it was a joke, but come on, man. Couldn't you find something else to make fun about? Didn't you know? And maybe he didn't know that his wife was going through some issues there, right? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But the point is, Will Smith, in my opinion, was wrong. He was dead wrong. Walking up on that stage, flexing his muscle, not for Jada, but for himself, because what happened was, did you see the outcome? The outpouring of this was he tainted his victory. He tainted the success that he made that night. He got the award, but it had been now tainted. Everything up to that moment, right, of winning that award has now, the winning of the award and everything he's accomplished is now overshadowed by him taking it personal, throwing a temper tantrum, and striking that individual. When you do that, listen to me, this can happen to anybody. Will Smith is not exempt from this. Say this with me out there. Everybody out there, you got to say this with me. Greater men, greater people, however you want to say it, have fallen. Greater people than myself have fallen. I'm telling you right now, if you think you're above temptation, if you feel you're above falling, or here Will Smith snapped, right? It's like, oh my gosh, another attack. Here, and he couldn't, you know what? He didn't take it. He couldn't take it, right? Let me see. Guy Bowling, the do something line in the John Q from his wife, he did. Now, you have to tell me that. I seen the movie, Guy, but it was been so long. So do something. Do something what? Maybe his wife told him do something about it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Do something. Maybe the look gave him that. Do something. But the thing about it is, to hit him wasn't the thing to do. To hit him just took him down so far. Now he's got a lot of cleaning up to do. Man, because he threw a fit. He threw a fit in public. You know, it's hard. Listen, when we mess up, listen, guys, listen, husbands, listen, fathers. One thing about being a man of honor, a man of good character, a TYRO man, right? Somebody worth following. The thing that we're talking about is can people trust you? Can people take you at your word? Can people walk alongside you and not have to fringe? So something snapped. Listen to me. Something snapped in Will Smith, a living time bomb right there. He walked up to that thing, and he knew, the pressure we have as men to respond from others. Oh, thank you, Guy. I appreciate that. The pressure is on, but you got to practice. You know, there's a somewhere it's written, Guy, do you know where this is written? Where the guy says this, he says, I die daily. I don't know, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, right? There's a passage somewhere where it says, I die daily. And this is a discipline. This is a practice that we as men need to do every day. You need to, and how you practice this, let me give you something here. So one way to practice, imagine yourself in situations, how do you respond to them, right? Because practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent, right? My wife, Kathy, and I, we do not have a perfect relationship, but it's permanent and it's healthy, right? So practice makes permanent. So one thing, there's situations that you're going to fall into, but you can imagine, how are you going to respond to it if this guy comes up to you? How are you going to respond to it if this doesn't go your way? How are you going to react to it? We don't want to react. You want to respond. So you want to play out the scene and you want to practice. This is how I'm going to do it, because practice makes permanent, right? Because you're training yourself how to respond to any situation, right? Now, at the given moment in time, where the proof is in the pudding, right? When the rubber meets the road, how do you respond to it? Well, the rubber meets the road, he didn't do so good, right? If we were grading him on a scale from A to an F on a scale, he got an F. That's an F, right? That's an F. Flat out F. He did not succeed. He should have waited. And the thing about it is, after he struck the dude, right, what did he do? He went back to the seat and started cussing, started using what I know. There's a lot of professional speakers out there that use a lot of vulgarity, and they do it for shock purposes. I understand why they would cuss and drop the F-bomb and stuff like that where they're talking to people. But I'm going to tell you, where I come from, we call cussing or using foul language or using cursings like that. When you use that type of language in a conversation with somebody, we call that the language of violence. We call that the language of violence, because when you don't educate yourself and try to articulate and try to form a new vocabulary and try to stimulate the way you think, guess what you do? You resort back to what you know, what you've heard on the streets, because that's a limited vocabulary. But I want to challenge everybody, right? That is the language of violence, because you heard Will when he told dude, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. What did he say? He didn't say it with love, man. He said it with threat. He said it with, if you keep this up, I'm coming back up there, right? He didn't hold back no punches, right? Now, was that cool? No, it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool, because it defined the hurt that he was having. And I want to encourage everybody, look, if you're hurting right now, if you got a situation in your life, do not resort to violence. Do not resort to throwing temper tantrums. Do not resort to what you've done in the past. Do not resort to calling somebody out their name. Don't be disrespecting anybody. Don't be hurting their feelings just because your feelings are hurt. Right? Listen to what I'm telling you. Hurting people hurt others. Now, you know what the other side of that coin is, everybody? You know what that is? Healed people. Now, watch this. Healed people hurt others. Now, the story that triggered in Will Smith to cause him to react that way, he doesn't own it yet. He doesn't own his story yet. 10% of the time we cannot control. 90% we can. Woo, the 90-10 rule. That's right, guy. Listen, when you own your story, the trauma and the drama that you've experienced growing up as a child, coming into your teen years, coming into a young adult life, wherever you're at in life, as long as your story owns you and you don't own your story, you are liable. You are liable, right? Watch this. You are liable to attack, react, destroy something, someone, or a situation when you don't own your story. Because there's going to be triggers that take place in your life. They're going to cause you to react a certain way because of what you experienced. But if you didn't look at the experience, if you didn't have any type of trauma care, right, you went through something and you never dealt with it in your adult life, it will come out, right? It will come out in a destructive way. It's the way it is. But if you deal with it and you walk through the healing process and you look at it and see for what it was, and you become, because we know the saying, right? What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And you come into a place of where you now own it. You own the experience you had. Now this takes time. I get it. This takes time. There's a lot of pressure out there. It takes time to walk through the healing process. But as long as you're willing to acknowledge it and deal with it, you will not hurt others. Remember, wounded people wound others, and that's the fact of life. But healed people heal others. Because did you hear what he said? Will said at the end when he was apologizing to the people, he didn't apologize to Chris Rock. Now that's another trigger. That's another red flag for me. He never called Chris Rock by name. He was the victim of his temper tantrum. He was the victim of his hurting pain inside of him. He became the closest thing to him. You know what I'm talking about. You ever get mad and punch the windshield of a car? You ever see somebody get mad and kick the dog when they got home? You ever see somebody do something that was crazy? Like, why would you do that? That was the object of their anger, right? That was the catalyst that they brought to you. That was the thing that they attacked. And so Chris Rock was at the end of that. Chris Rock was at the end of he couldn't take it no more, right? Ruben, how are you, man? Thanks for jumping on. So I want to encourage you, if there's something in your life that's building up, if the pressure is coming, because hey, guy, so let me ask you this. So if you put enough pressure on a pipe, everybody, what happens? So if you put enough pressure on a pipe, what do you think happens? There's only one thing that can happen. If you put enough pressure on any pipe, right? I don't know if you've ever seen it go off or seen a pipe. What it happens, if you put enough pressure on a pipe, what happens? It will explode. And that's what we witnessed last night. That's what we seen last night. We seen enough pressure on a pipe, boom, and it bursted, and it was ugly. There was no thing about that. Man, I'm telling you right now, I'm so glad you're good, Ruben. I'm so proud of you, man. Listen, when you're walking in life, things are going to come at you, and they're going to try to take you off your square. You might be trying to become successful. You might be trying to move somewhere. You might be trying to do something different. But I'm telling you right now that as you continue to move, you're going to be challenged in life. There's going to be people in your life who are going to come and hate on you. There's going to be people in your life who are going to come and tell you you won't amount to nothing. There are going to be people in your life that are going to laugh at you, and they're going to remind you of your history. They're going to remind you of where you've been. They're going to remind you of your past mistakes. But I'm here here to tell you, your past does not define who you are. Your past does not dictate your future. You can it will qualify you for your future if you let it. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, because you've been through something. Now, whatever you've experienced in life, it can take you to a new level, a new growth in life from different angles. That's right, man. I hear you, Ruben. Listen, you have to come into a place of where you too can become successful and not let the jokes, the smears, the looks of other people cause you to take yourself out. Don't block your own three-point. Man, it was so sad to see Will Smith block his own three-point. He got an award that was just amazing award for his work. But listen, he tainted that trophy. He tainted that night. Why? Because he attacked somebody before he was given the gift. Before he was going to receive the hard work, the recognition that he well deserved for the hard work he put into life and getting where he's at today. But he tainted it. He robbed himself of his own joy. I don't care. You can't have a great night knowing you got that in the back of your mind. I just hit somebody. I mean, you can put on the mask. You can pretend it's not bothering you, but it is. It's all in the air. You can, we'll deal with it later, but you still gotta think about it while you're trying to sugarcoat it, trying to say it's gonna be okay, because you still gotta face the next day. You gotta face the consequences. And so I want to just encourage everybody that if you have a problem, if there's a situation in your life that you want to overcome, don't resort to violence. Don't resort to violence. Talk to somebody about it. Think about before you act. Think about before you speak. Think about before you move. Think about it, man. Listen, because there's so many things out there that are out there to take you out. Do not be your worst enemy. Don't be your worst enemy. Be your best friend. Wounded people wound others, but healed people heal others. Hey, my name is Ron Tijerina, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I appreciate you guys jumping on, and just be watching for this. We're about ready to get started. We're going to be launching a new the Uncuffed with Ron Tijerina. I would love for you to join us. We're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be coming with some great content. We're going to be coming with some great guests. Watch us on TYRO TV. We'll get a lot of things coming. We're going to be building this up, but I wanted to just start. It was great content. I wanted to talk about what we saw because that's what we teach. We help people really deal with the trauma that they're facing in life so that we can stop the cycles of self-destruction. That's what we're about. Hey, at TYRO TV. Hey, my name is Ron Tijerina, and always remember, I am celebrating you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great, great night.